Hello, my fellow patriots. This is Alex with Disabled Vets Perspective. um, I know I've been trying to get a second episode of my show with Belinda on who really owns America. Unfortunately, I'm having a lot of technical difficulties getting her connected to my live stream. It seems to be the story of my life, but we are still working on it. Still scheduled for 6 o'clock Central, 7 Eastern tonight. Hey, Belinda. I mean, sorry, Belinda. I just said her name. DM, welcome. Um, anyway, I'm supposed to be on with Tony tonight, and I will attempt that. We'll see if we can get connected. Um, I'm having an awful lot of issues getting people connected to this Streamlabs to the point where I'm wondering if I need to try a uh, different form for casting, because apparently Streamlabs has an awful large requirement uh, for getting connected, getting more than one person. Who is this? Connor Tags. Good to see you. Hey, man. Welcome. Um, Anyhow, I just wanted to go live to see if I can even go live and make sure that that's at least working. Um, I think I think Tony. Hey, Shonda. I think Tony uses D Lab or something to that effect. So I'm going to look at that today and see what I can figure out. Hey, Ashley. Boy, we're getting a crowd in here. I didn't think anybody was up and moving at this time of day, but um, I was just explaining to everybody that I can't get connected with Belinda right now for our Who Really Owns America show. So I wanted to just get get live for a minute, maybe just shoot the breeze for a minute, just to make sure that even my live streaming is working. As far as it being live, what does it look like right now? Is it am I clear? Am I buffering? I mean, is there anything negative going on? Um, let's see. Why can't I open that? Wow. There we go. He uses StreamYard. Okay, then that's what I'll look up and see what it says. It's
Said you have
clear.
tried because you can't get both of them on there.
Do what now?
You said you've tried
No, I haven't tried. Um,
because you were going to go on at one time and you said you can't get it up.
oh, well, yeah, that's a different issue entirely. Um, yeah, let's see, what did it say? Where, where did I see that? Stream Yard. Okay, I need to write that down. So anyway, um, you sound good. Well, thank you. I get that a lot. Um, anyway, I just wanted to jump on here and let you guys know I'm not dead. I'm just having issues with this uh, Streamlabs. But if I can get that Stream Yard figured out, then that would be a good thing. Unfortunately, I was just getting to the point too where I was starting to understand how to use Streamlabs, but it just doesn't seem to have the kick. Yeah, looking up StreamYard while you're sitting there with me. Need to move it to the other side though. Oh, it is super easy and free, according to Tony. Easy to bring guests on. Okay, I will be looking at it and finding it out. Ah, Pete the Patriot. I see his He just jumped in here. I saw somebody waving a hand at him. Good morning. What is that, Lioness? Good morning. That's a new one. Uh, so, since there's absolutely nothing going on in the news today, I don't know what I'm going to sit here and talk about, but I need to make sure that we have our good and quality time. Um, so, anything good going on? It has a duck head as a logo. Okay. Let's see if I can stretch this out a little bit. Don't mind me. Talk amongst yourselves. I'm still here. Nothing at all. Yeah, I know. It's just ridiculous. It's like there's almost no news, except for the fact that several people that have been interviewed on CNN and now others that have been making tweets saying that Trump supporters need to be eradicated. I think that's just fascinating. Hey, conservative patriot, how you doing? Um, yeah, this is some kind of a new fad. Who can get the most ridiculous about um, blatant threats towards conservatives and Trump supporters? Basically, what they're saying is that we are all Nazis, we are all white supremacists, and we need to be eradicated. And I ain't all that much educated, but I reckon that mean killing. So I don't know what exactly the response should be, but I'm quite certain that it would be in the category of arm up, stay vigilant, keep your head on a pivot, because you had this situation where everybody showed up at Mitch McConnell's house, the left, not everybody, but a group of the left, and they're screaming no more violence as one other person in the same crowd's yelling, stab him in the heart, kill him. So it's no more violence unless it's violence towards conservatives, uh, Republicans, or patriots, and obviously Trump supporters. Then it's fair game. That's not considered violence. That's considered euthanization, I believe. That would be the way I figure it. But let's see here. Let me see if I can increase that. Of course I can't. But that was a nice thought. I'm trying to get this chat up so that these old eyes don't have to squint to see it. Not that my eyes are old. I'm just, if it were somebody else, I would say that. Why did it do that? Every day I'm shuffling. Okay, that man is diabolical for saying that. Yeah, but it's not just one man, DM, or Ashley, rather. This has been, he started it. This Raza, whatever. I mean, he's supposed to be Iranian descent, but he has a Spanish first name, the Raza. Raza is the race in Spanish, so he's the one that started this thing, and now it's some kind of big trend to see who can make the loudest physical threat towards the life of the deplorables. Um, we are those deplorables. So it's it's really amazing to listen to, and then you have the FBI warning that if you don't believe the narrative that they shove up your ever loving ass, that you are a threat to society. So if you question the narrative that they put forward and demand that you swallow, then you are considered a domestic threat. And a domestic threat is also considered a terrorist. So what in the hell is going on is what I gotta say. And at what point do we fear for our lives? And when you fear for your life, you defend it. So I know that's what they want. The psychotic part of the left, and a lot of them are, they want a civil war because they're losing the battle for the uh, vote. Um, the thing is, I don't know that they even want the vote. If you think about this logically, the people that are running on the left for the presidency are constantly berating and denigrating the minimum of 65 million people in this country. It's like they truly do not want our vote, nor do they feel like they need our vote, because my guess is they figure they've got enough of the illegal presence in the country. Uh, hey, CLC, you did make it in here. See, you guys were up all night with me, and now we're here. So it's like partying all night, waking up and getting the cold pizza and warm beer. But whatever. But anyway, it's these candidates are kicking away a minimum of 65 million people, and I think they feel like if they can do the ballot stuffing, they can control the count of the vote in these districts. If they can get control of the electoral college and make sure that that can be given to essentially whoever they want. They say, oh, they're going to give it to the one with a popular vote, but I don't know about that. I think that might be a ploy. I think they'll just decide, they're going to give it to whomever they choose. They'll find a way to do that. So if they can do the ballot stuffing, they can take care of the illegal vote, and then they can manipulate the electoral college and try to do these unconstitutional laws like requiring tax returns from candidates. All these little things are playing into it, so they figure that they can win the vote on their portion of the country that they believe is so powerful. Um, they say that only 65 million voters voted for Trump, and that Hillary won by an additional 3 million votes. But every day with Judicial Watch, we're finding out that that may not be entirely true, and that there's already between two states that I know of, Pennsylvania and Texas. They already accounted for over 900,000 illegal votes, and they're still auditing California, but that's up over a million now. It's well over a million, but they're still doing their voting audit. So just two states and then a piece of California, you're already at 2 million illegal votes. So it's not that far-fetched to think that in another 48 states you could round up another 2 million or so votes, or another million, and then you'd already have her 3 million that she won by, supposedly. So they just, if they can't beat them, cheat them. If you can't kill them, steal them. Just they're gonna do a power grab, and the only way to counter that is to get our asses out and vote. And I've said that in my walk around videos. I'm saying it here. And let's see, what I don't get is, see, I gotta lean way forward to read my chat because of these, eye things. What I don't get is how can someone run for office if they are a socialist? Good question. Socialism is just too politically correct term for saying you're truly a communist, in my opinion. Well, socialism and communism are very, very close. Um, Socialism, they want everybody to own equally. So if in socialism, if you're making a million and I'm making 50,000, then they're going to take whatever they need to take from you to get me up to a level that is at least close to equal with you. So they'll tax the highest income to bring the lowest income up, and then in turn the high income will lose interest in working and the low income will sit at home thinking he's got it made. So pretty soon the money earners stop giving the effort to make money, and the low donors that were receiving the free money lose interest in working or doing anything to try to change it because they've already got the same amount as the person is working full time. But you have in socialism, you can have whatever you want, but you're going to have it as an equal amount with the next person. With communism, you are turning everything over to the government, and then the government decides what you have, what you need. For example, if you, like me, I've got both of my kids are grown and gone, and my wife and I are in the house alone. So if we lived in a potentially a 3 or 4 bedroom house, the government might decide that we don't need that anymore, and they might put us into a 1 bedroom apartment. And when we were younger, if we needed 2 cars, the government would make sure we had 2 cars. But if they found that we didn't need one, they'd take one away. So in communism, you don't own anything. You're given what you need to exist. In socialism, you can own anything you want as long as the people below you own exactly what you have. So it's a very slight difference. Uh, it is weird. I've been unemployed. I've been for a while, just in a rough patch, but I don't expect to have things handed to me. It's tough, but I'll get through it. I'm not the only one. Well, that's true. Many people have been unemployed and have had to make it happen. I've gone through that a lot in my life. Um, yeah, that is the goal. Pete says, "Yep." Um, yeah, I mean, people that know the value of work and know what it takes to get where they need to be, they don't they don't depend on other people to do it. They get their butt up and they do it, and that's the difference between uh, the new generation and us. Um, I I went through a period of time when my children were real young that I was trying to live on 400 a month. Um, it was shortly after I got out of the military, and my back flared up, so I was living off of the little bit of disability they gave me, and on 400 a month, we were feeding 4 of us and paying bills as much as possible. But the other thing I was doing was I was going out and throwing my 2-year-old son into dumpsters to collect aluminum cans. I mean, I guess that might be abuse, but uh, we'd go out every night and collect aluminum cans, and then I would use that to pay our electric bill. So you do what you have to do, and the when I grew up, we contributed if anything was needed in the household, and I raised my kids that same way. So basically, my son at 2 years old was already contributing and helping us with our needs, and I made sure it was fun for him, and we were spending good daddy-son quality time together. But I never made him feel like he was doing a job or it was a burden. So we survived it. But that's the point. You do what you have to do, and you'll get through it. Um, let's see. Any other people? You have you right? Yep. I used to collect cans in my days off. Yeah, it's not a bad deal. Right now, aluminum's only 53 cents, or I think it's up to 57 cents a pound, which is not bad. But I used to haul junk steel and stuff, and now you get steel, and it's only like for every 1,000 pounds or something like that, you're only getting 6 cents. Um, it's ridiculous. The steel industry was killed off by uh, China, and it's going to take a while to recover. But you can still recycle copper and aluminum. Copper's still up around $4 a pound, so it's a good deal there. But there's a lot of people that are doing stuff like that to survive. And that's the thing that puzzles me when I constantly hear about the economy that's booming and that the jobs are going. I still live here in the Florida Panhandle, and it's a relatively depressed area. You would think otherwise, but we're surrounded by 4 military bases. But most of the people here are retired military and Social Security beneficiaries. So the the income of my area is not great. The retail industry is suffering. We've got many businesses that are boarded up, closed up, and it looks pretty deserted. Hey, Knight's Armory, Big Jim, pew pew pew. There we go. I had to get that in there. Team Jim, Big Bad Jim. I just don't tell Joe I said that because if I get on his show, he might block me. So we have to be careful. You know how those lefties are. So you upset them and they block you. Uh, let's see. Back when I was serving in the Coast Guard. Well, good on you. Thanks for your service. Uh, Zippocratus. I collected cans and bottles to help pay for my beer. Prioritize. Yes. Um, Beer was essential. Uh, let's see. I am doing good. Nachos, good to see you. It's been a while. You've been hiding in the shadows, I think. I haven't seen you out running around. Well, that's a good one. Let's see. Linus 61 Turner. That's nice. Um, I'm I'm not completely free of needs. I have issues still with my disability, but I also try to help out other vets as much as I can. It's kind of like the charity helping the charity. Um, but I just feel like if you got it, you give it. If you don't, you ask. Uh, I'm still just been busy and can't make videos like I used to. Yeah. Well, I've been trying to come up with get going on a live show, and I keep getting issues with my connection being too weak or whatever. So I can get on here by myself, but every time I try to bring Belinda on, I get these messages not able to connect to your camera device, or uh, signal strength is too weak, and all this other stuff. So apparently, Streamlabs requires some pretty hefty juice from the satellite dish, and I just apparently don't have enough to push it. So I'm going to be looking at this StreamYard today and see if I can get something figured out on that. Um, it means that I won't have the fancy backgrounds and stuff right now, or for a little while, but I'm going to start working on stuff like that. Um, you don't use Streamlabs? Yeah, well, I'm finding out that I may not be using it either, because I like the fact that I finally learned how to use it, but it's just ridiculous. I'm trying to get my live shows up when I'm doing it with a team member. Um, Belinda and I are pretty much partners on these on the Inside Veterans Affairs and Who Really Owns America. That's the tag team shows. So it's I did the first one by myself because she got hung up in traffic, and the second one we're trying to do, I can't get her live stream hooked up, and it's kind of lame to be in a show with a partner and then not be able to do it with the partner. So it's I probably could have come up by myself and done it, but it loses some of its gas, because some of what I enjoy about doing this is the back and forth banter with Belinda. Um, Honestly, when you have somebody that's in it with you, and you can converse back and forth and have a conversation as well as discussions on topics, it makes a show smoother. It makes it a little more interesting. Me, you know, I'm as interesting as it gets for what I am, and she adds a flair to the show that I don't have. So the team works. So I'm going to do what I can to make sure that we can do the show together. Let's see, I still haven't received my shirt. Nice armory. Uh-oh. You're in trouble, Jim. Ashley is on the warpath. But that's okay. You're over there, she's over there, I'm safe. That is great, Pete. What? I use StreamYard now. It's very easy. Good. Well, I like very easy because I am a computer illiterate. Uh, that would be like an illiterate computerer. Thank you. So I was just getting to the point where I was learning the Streamlabs and getting my backgrounds and making my logos and stuff like that. But it's just not worth it to me if I can't get the show up and can't do the thing I want to do. But I'll figure out how to do backgrounds and stuff like that too. Uh, First time I could catch you live. Well, welcome. I'm glad you caught me live. That's Michael Hodges. I'm glad to have you. Michelle's here. All right, everybody, quiet. Shh. Michelle's here. How you doing, Michelle? Forbidden information. Make sure you all subscribe. You know, go through this list of people on the chat. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you cross-subscribe to each other because it's a big Patriot family, and we help each other out. You know, we're trying to develop a Patriot Army that will be able to move in some sense of coordination. Like if we need to show up at rallies or events in states that we're close to, then we have a point of contact by using the chat boards and things like that. But it's a good idea. It allows us to have some ability to coordinate and to move like Antifa does. I know that most of us are working, or most of you are working. I think about work every day, but it's hard for us to become mobile on the spot to protect an area from a marauding set of militia. They're not militia; they're marauders. Um, they are terrorists. So that's all I can really describe them like 4 clicks and you can go live, sign up for a free account. I had a hard time with Streamlabs. Yeah, well, I got this. I got the Streamlabs from American Joe, and you know I was eternally grateful. He walked me through the whole thing, getting me set up and figuring it all out. But he did say at the time that you need some pretty good juice from your internet to use it, and I didn't realize that I needed that much because I've got oh shoot, I'm somewhere around 50 megabits per second of uplift on this one, and my other internet service I only had 10 megabits per second, so it's 5 times what I've had, but apparently it's still not enough for Streamlabs to do its thing. And here's the thing also, I may end up keeping Streamlabs so that I can have an option to do videos inside without my cell phone doing the walk and talk, and be able to jump on here and do it, but we'll just feel that out as it goes. What is that? Connor, okay. You can help me. Okay. I'm going to hold you to that, Michelle. But one thing, this one has just been eating me up. I wanted to talk about this, and I know Belinda might be watching, and she'll probably throw something to TV because I'm talking about it. But one of the deals about the Who Really Owns America, one thing that kind of struck me, and I was going to talk about that today. Florida Jim, hey there, welcome. Good to see you. I am a tobacco connoisseur. I like cigars. I like different kinds of cigarettes. I like peyote. You know, I'm I'm an American Indian. I think tobacco is part of our heritage, and I've been smoking since I was about 8 years old. And the interesting thing is, I've had X-rays of my lungs, and they're crystal clear. I can still hold my breath for over 2.5 minutes. So it's like some people are built to smoke and some aren't. But one thing about who really owns America, one of the articles I read was a company that smokers would know of, and that's Lucky Strike, and even non-smokers. But in 1871, Lucky Strike was formed, and they the name actually came from your lucky strike when you got a pack of cigarettes or when you bought a carton of cigarettes. Sometimes you would end up with a bit of marijuana in the box. So that's where they actually came up with the name was Lucky Strike, because it could be your lucky strike. You could get your marijuana in yours. Uh, being live. Oh, well, thank you. Actually, yeah, different people have different things. I've I've done the whole try to quit smoking thing, and my life was absolutely miserable. And matter of fact, when I was waiting for my back surgery for damn near 8 years, uh, I had to, the neurosurgeon required that I stop smoking or he wouldn't do the surgery. Well, I finally did and got the surgery, but then I was in bed and I couldn't move and I wasn't healing. And I went ahead and, I started smoking again because there was really nothing left to do except lay in bed. So I started smoking, and, I was up moving around within 2.5, I think 3 weeks at the most. Um, you've been dipping since you were 17, 22 now, 23 and still. Yeah, it's it's a hit and miss. Some people have luck with it, some people don't. But anyway, I found out that I got up out of bed and was able to start moving around. So I went back to my neurosurgeon and I told him I wasn't getting anywhere. I wasn't healing. I wasn't able to get out of bed or do anything. And I said, so I started smoking again. And I said, if you don't like it, I don't really care. And I said, but I do want to know one question. I said, why is it that all of a sudden, after I started smoking again, I could move, and when I was not smoking, I couldn't do anything. I mean, I dragged my knuckles on the ground and pull my legs behind me when I was going to the bathroom or something, and it was ridiculous. And he told me, he says that when you smoke, you actually drying out your bones. And I had a relatively large fusion done, probably 10 inches or more of my lower back that was all fused together. And what happens is when you're not smoking, your bones get rehydrated, so they flex and they move. And then when I started smoking again, the bones dried up and became stationary and rigid. So he told me, he said, yeah, that it makes the bones dehydrated, so to speak, and I guess it allowed mine to fuse better or something, so I was able to start getting around. But anyway, jumped off that subject. But back to Lucky Strike. It was started in 1871, and marijuana was the surprise. That was your lucky strike. But then apparently in 1979, the company was sold, and it is now owned by a European outfit, and we don't even grow tobacco for it anymore. But the thing that was so bothersome to me is that their slogan used to be, "We've been side by side with our soldiers since," I think it said, since the Spanish-American War, and they really have. It was a staple, even in the military. You got people. I've been smoking since I was 11 in 71. Well, you got me beat by a little bit. I was 8, but I was in 79. But anyway, that was one that really got my attention. It kind of ranks right up there with Budweiser. But anyway, I want to save the rest of the goodies on the Who Really Owns America for when Belinda's here. But the Lucky Strike was definitely one that that bothered me. And Belinda is not a smoker, and I try to stay away from her with my cigarettes, but she reminds me if I get too close. But anyway, so she won't mind I talking about cigarettes now, and let her talk about the other stuff with me later. Play on my last name, okay, Milo. Um, oh, it's crazy that I can hold my breath that long. I can go 2 minutes, 15 seconds, and do that now, and I have 100% lung capacity. Well, that's good. Um, I've I've always been a swimmer. You know, I used to do a lot of snorkeling, a lot of swimming, a lot of diving, and I have a fairly large diaphragm, so I can hold a lot of air, and I can blow a lot of hot air too. You know, but no, it's just that I just have that capability, and my lungs have always been clear. You know, even my primary doctor gets really pissed because he says, "Have you quit smoking yet?" And I say, "No, why?" And I said, "What's the point of me quitting smoking and going through misery and having to deal with all that?" Um, let's see. I've dry stream yards. I have not heard any good things from anyone who uses string labs. They all seem to have a lot of issues. I can believe that. Thank you, and I'm going to check it out. I wanted to give you guys some opportunity to see this beautiful face for a little bit, and just to let you know I'm here, and I'm trying to get up so I can be with you folks, because that's important too. I can do all these walk and talk videos out in the yard and show you the sky and the trees and the hair up my nose when I'm doing that, but sometimes I want to be able to just sit and shoot shit with my people, and I just can't do that unless I get on here live. So I want to get it right, and then Belinda and me will be back up and going, and hopefully me and Tony will get this show off the ground tonight, and that'll be the first of its kind, the political issues. And it was nice to see you, Alex. Well, it was nice to see you too. Um, hello, Alex and everyone. Jervis, oh, you snuck in here. Wow, that's like hiding behind the couch and jumping up and going, supplies. Speaking of that, um, got a joke, but I'm going to go ahead and give that to you. First of all, I need to make my disclosure. I am half an Apache, half Viking, and I am not racist. I am not a bigot, and I'm not in any of those categories. I don't see color. I don't understand it. That being said, this is a Chinese joke, but there's some guys at a construction yard. Oh, let me read this real quick. I've got to lean in. Being from South Florida, and I have smoked a pack a day since 1976 when I joined the Coast Guard. And at 60, I can still hold my breath on the water for at least 10 minutes. Yeah, see, so some people, I mean, really, some people can do that, some people can't. Some people, smoke for 10 years and they end up hospitalized or whatever, and I don't understand it. The human body is weird. Just like I used to drink, and I used to drink copious amounts of booze. My bottle of choice was Jack Daniels, and I usually would get one a night, and it would be gone within a couple of hours, but I never ever felt drunk. I never slurred. I was always sober, and some people say that's because of the Indian bloodline, because Indians can drink an incredible amount of liquor and still be functional. But anyway, back to my joke. So they're on a construction site. Everybody's doing their thing. It's a mining company, so they're going in and out of the mines. Well, a guy that a legal immigrant to the country comes to the job site, and he says, "I am job," and the guy the supervisor says, well, I'm not sure we have anything. So he says, just keep checking back. So then it comes back every other day or so, and he says, I'm job. So he finally says, well, we have a language barrier. I can't understand when you speak very well, but I think I do have a job for you. You will be in handling our supplies, making sure everybody gets what they need, and then, if you can do that, then we've got the job for you, and I need you to come back tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock, and we'll be ready to go. So they get to the job site, and 7 o'clock hits, and no sign of him. And 7:30 hits. The supervisor's standing there saying, we can't wait much longer. We're going to have to get to work. So 7:45, and they all say, okay, forget it. He's not coming. He doesn't want the job. So they all jump in the mine elevator, and they head down into the mine, and they get to the bottom, and everybody goes to the lockers and the cabinets to open them up to get their hard hats and stuff like that. And the supervisor opens up his cabinet, and out jumps the Chinese guy and yells, "Supplies!" So anyway, that's where the rim shot comes in. That's my joke. But anyway, let's see. Yeah, when you smoked, it didn't affect your running. Me either. When I was in the army, I was first off, I was lightning fast. I could run very, very fast, but I could also run all day and never lose my breath. That was very strange. I've always felt when I was running, I could just breathe normally, talk normally, and it never seemed to bother me. Um, Thank you to all veterans in the chat for your service to our country, and greatly appreciated. Absolutely, Ashley. Thank you all for your service. Um, that's important. A lot of people that have served, they get standoffish when somebody says thank you for your service because they don't know how to react. They don't feel like they deserve that in some cases, and it's not true. If you don't know how to respond to people that say that, if you feel like you're not worthy of a thank you or whatever, just a friendly response that handles it. You could just say, I'm glad I was able to do my small part." And that's really what it is. We are all a small part of a very large group effort to make things happen. That's the way the military is. We're not individualized. I wasn't responsible for making something successful. It was me and thousands of others. So when somebody says thank you for your service, I just respond by, I'm glad I was able to do my small part. It's a good option anyway. Gives you a response without having to feel uncomfortable or not know what to say and that kind of thing. I had no idea you can copy and paste using a phone. Yeah, I learned that a little later too. You like Hooligan Veteran Squid? Ooh, sounds like people are talking sushi. That helped a lot. Thanks for the advice. I feel that way strongly about myself. I don't deploy or see. I didn't deploy or see anything. Well, yeah, but you were still a major part of it. I did not deploy I was in during the Gulf War, and I did not actually deploy to the desert, but I was involved completely in the support. I was force comm, so we were handling support stateside. We were loading ships, getting them sent out, and unloading them when equipment would come back. But I was deployed, but on all official documents I wasn't. So that's really the extent of that. I did several things that were very highly classified, but it's just those kind of things don't show up on records. So you basically just stick to the home front. Uh, yeah, it's just don't underestimate your worth, Connor, because it is important. Every person that served a vital part of an overall mission. Um, it's it's important that you understand that and never feel guilty because you didn't go to the desert, so to speak, because the people that were in the desert were 100% dependent on the people that were stateside still. So without us, they'd be sitting ducks over there anyway. You you served from 76 to 1980, enlisted at 16. Well, bravo. Thank you for your service. That's cool. 16. I joined right at 18. I actually joined when I was 17, but I went to my basic. Just I guess turned 18 in February, and my slot came open for May for basic. But I signed up when I was 17, which is kind of funny because at 17 you still have to have a signature from your folks. So I signed up at 17, got my signature, but I didn't have a slot for basic training for several months. So by the time I was ready for my slot for basic training, I was already 18 and didn't need the signature anymore. So it was it was kind of funny. You joined at 17 as well, 72. Right on. Yeah. Yeah, that's deplorable Bobby, the way I see it. Yeah, we got some great veterans here. That's why I enjoy my show with Belinda on Sunday, Inside Veterans Affairs, because we can talk about veterans issues. I get feedback from the chat. We talk about articles and things like that. So I enjoy that show, and that one we're gonna continue for as long as you guys will have us. But anyway, so I think that's almost an hour of banter and babbling. And what are we at? Well, we got about 10 minutes. But so what do you think? You guys want to hear some more of my banter, or are you tired of listening to me? One for yes, two for no, or blink once or blink twice, you know, that kind of thing. I was in the Pulley program for the Marines for about 10 months, roughly. It didn't work out because of paperwork, so I went Army and was in from 2015 to 17 and served for a year and a half. You got I think he ran out of space there. When I was 16 and got kicked out of Florida school system, my father, who is now buried in Arlington, gave me a choice: get a job or enlist. Yeah, there's a lot of that, and I bet that made you a much better person for him doing that too, because all of us at 16 are kind of idiots. We say and do stupid stuff, and then we look at it as our parents are always wrong and we know better, and so you know sometimes it takes a swift kick in the ass to get us to grow up, and the military grows you up. That's for sure. So imagine that worked out well. I was young and dumb, and in a rush for no reason. Yeah, I actually wanted to enlist in the Navy, but I wanted to be a CB because I was already a educated carpenter. I went to a vocational school and became a modular home designer and builder. So I'd already had a construction background by the time I was going to enlist. But the CBs were full up for a year and a half, and I did not want to wear crackerjack pants because I'm telling you now, angel flights, bell bottoms, flares. It's almost a phobia with me. I hate those things so much. So I was not going to wear crackerjack pants. So I joined the Army when I found out the CBs were completely full. And I tried to get into the demolition in the army, but again, that one was full. And at that time with Clinton, there were so many restrictions on enlistment and stuff. You had to have a really high score on your ASVAB. You had to have uh, experience in the MOS that you were looking to do, or at least be an MOS of general purpose. So it was very difficult when I went in to get in and then to get what you wanted. But demolition was completely full up, so I went in and became a truck driver. I wanted to be an equipment operator, but that one was full. So I went in and became a truck driver. But then every time a school came available, I went into it. And in all, I went through enough training that I was in the Army that I was licensed to drive for the President of the United States. I had that many credentials on my driving ticket. So I had been through all the tactical defensive training courses. I know how to power slide full-size buses, and I know how to drive at 90 miles an hour backwards in a limousine and going through an obstacle course that way. So I've done all that stuff, and man, it was a blast. But I can still drive like a slap demon if I have to. I can drive tactically or defensively. It doesn't matter. I just good training. That's what they call it. Uh, yeah, we have so many vets. Yeah, the last. I'm glad we have so many vets. I love you all, but yeah, it's important to me to make sure that we have all of our veterans over here, and make sure you guys spread the word about me, because as I get these things hammered out and start getting a little better at this stuff, my shows will be more regular, more easy flowing, and I won't have so many glitches. So tell your friends about me, bring them over, bring your veterans with you, and join us, especially for Inside Veterans Affairs on Sundays at 7 Eastern, 6 Central. And Who Really Owns America is going to be Tuesday nights at 7, 6 Central. And then Thursday night is political issues, again, 7, 6 Central. So everything's going to be on the same time frame, so people can get used to me being there. Um, we had a prohibition, and look how that worked out. What do they think would happen with illegal confiscation? It's not going to happen. It's just not. Um, if ever there is a tomorrow when we're not together, there's something you must always know. Remember, you are braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, and smarter than you think. Who'da thunk? That's a good one. Uh, yeah, DM, I know you do, and I appreciate that so much. I'm eternally grateful. My mods, you guys kick ass. I always can depend on you being here. Make sure you guys check on these other people that are in my chat. Pete the Patriot, go check him out. He does some good headlines, good stories. Enjoy listening to him. Michelle over at Forbidden Information, go get over her and check her out. If you guys, Shonda, graphic designer, she's good at doing her thing. I like watching her stuff when she gets them up there. If you guys just take a minute and what do they call that? Network. Just check each other out and help each other out, and let's build this Patriot family and get everybody get up over 1,000, and then we go from there. I'm at almost I'm approaching 600, so we're getting there, and it's a slow, steady climb, and I'm grateful for everybody I get. I think that it's a little better for me to get people in a slower, steady form than to get a pile of people, because sometimes when you got the best intentions, you still end up bringing in the trash. And I think at this rate, I've been able to keep the trolls and the haters at bay. I've had one person that came in to try to stir me up, but it's one of those just smile and wave. Just blow them out of the water with kindness, and don't give them their battle that they're trying to get, or get the rise out of you. Just You know, it's like grab them by the ears, pull them in, kiss them on the lips, and then toss them off, and then be done with it. But I'm one of these that it's like, what are you gonna do on a computer? You're gonna put a caps lock in my ass or something? Because what is this? Put up your dukes on the keyboard. I don't play that stuff. I don't do computer fighting. It's ridiculous. Um, hit the bell. Yes, hit the bell. Anyway, watch Trump rally Thursday. What time is that? Is that this Thursday? Like today, or is that next Thursday? I miss my hero family every day since 2010. My mother this year. I'm sorry to hear that. Oh, then they buried the spouse on the top of the hero. And put the spouse name on the back of the headstone. Well, that's cool. I did not know that. That's very interesting. The spouse is buried on top of the soldier in Arlington, and the spouse's name was put on the back of the stone. So I guess you could say you could be on top for eternity. Hey, sorry, that's not necessary. Next Thursday. Okay, thank goodness, because I'm going to be trying to get Tony on tonight and see if we can have some fun chewing up some political issues. Um, I'm going to see if I can contact him and have a backup. If I can't get him on my show, then maybe we can see if he can go live and pull me into his. That's the way I'm thinking we might get around it tonight if I don't get this StreamYard all hooked up and stuff. But we'll see. I have some faith that I can get it done. Anyway, y'all, I think that's enough for me. I've just about had it with myself. But join me tonight, 7 o'clock Eastern, with Tony Patriot. It's going to be a good show, a lot of chat. We're going to eat up some political pundits and presidential candidates and hopefully spit them back out, because I think they'll leave a bad taste in our mouth. Yeah, okay, cool. Thank you, DM. All right, y'all. I'm going to end it right here. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't. Tell your friends about me. Hit the bell. Do all that good stuff. And until tonight, folks, I always say, stay in the fight.